Greetings, fantastic Philly Flyers Nation. We are here doing my 32-team mock draft, and as you can see, this is post Tyreek Hill trade. That was maybe the craziest trade of this offseason. Really isn't too much to say. We are on the Draft Network right up here, and we are going to be going by the Draft Network's player rankings. Not really, going off of that because, I don't necessarily think that Kyle Hamilton's the best player in this draft class. Who knows? I don't know why I'm so energetic right now, but we're going to start things off with the first overall pick. The Jacksonville Jaguars will be selecting Evan Neal. They need offensive line. They need to protect their man, Trevor Lawrence. That was an abysmal offensive line. No point in taking Aiden Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeau or Jermaine Johnson or Trayvon Walker, any one of those top edge rushers, if they don't protect Lawrence. Next up, we got the Lions. They're going to take Hutchinson. I do not think Hutchinson is the latest and greatest player. Now, we might be looking 3-4 years down the line, and it'll be like, oh, wow, what a dumb idea that Aiden Hutchinson isn't good. But it might also be, oh, wow, what a smart guy. Well, you're going to be like, what a smart guy anyways. But Aiden Hutchinson is not. I don't think he's the best, but everyone says that he's at the top. All the NFL teams really want him, and, I think he is going to be one of the first 3 players off the board, and he's going to be the first edge rusher off the board. Next up, we got the Houston Texans. We are going with Kyle Hamilton for them. Now, I know a lot of people are saying Thibodeau or maybe Andrew Booth or like Sauce Gardner. I don't think that that's who they should be taking them, because their GM or coach or owner, I can't remember who it is, but one of their guys that they just brought in, he's from the Belichick coaching tree, and Belichick always builds his defense from back to front. Now, I did see this in a TPS video. But they build it from back to front, never from front to back, and that's something that I think the Texans will do, and I do think that Kyle Hamilton is a very, very good product here. Next, we got the New York Jets. They got to protect Zach Wilson if he is going to be their guy, so they're going to go with Akeem Uwanu. He's looked very polished so far. He might not be the best. It's always hard to tell with linemen, but he is looking like a very good draft product, and he might even end up being better than Evan Neal. Next up, we got the Giants. So the Giants are most likely going to go edge rusher and offensive line. I think they're going to take Kayvon Thibodeau first, though, because if Thibodeau falls to the Panthers are totally going to take him. So I think they should get Thibodeau first, and even if the Jaguars end up taking an offensive lineman like Kenyon Green, Tyler Linderbaum, Charles Cross, or even Trevor Penning, that probably won't happen. But, if they go and take one of them, there's still going to be another guy up there that the Giants can take. Whereas edge rusher, yeah, they could get Jermaine Johnson or Trayvon Walker. I think it's a safer pick to go with offensive line, especially since I think that the Panthers are going to take Malik Willis. He had an incredible pro day. He is just so much fun to watch, and it's just so much fun to watch him play. He's got a great dual threat, style, and he really showed off his arm at the pro day. He did very well. And I still think that Matt Corral is the best quarterback in this class. Not by much, but I think Malik Willis is really, really good right up there. Back to the Giants, like I was saying earlier, there's still going to be offensive linemen. I think they're going to go with Charles Cross. I don't know why I think he's above Kenyon Green or Tyler Linderbaum, but I do think that he is valued above there. Next up, we got the Atlanta Falcons. They need a wide receiver badly. They really do, because Russell Gage is going to the Buccaneers and Calvin Ridley is in jail. Well, no, he's just suspended for gambling. I actually think that Ridley is betting $100 that they're taking Derek Stingley. That was so bad. I'm really sorry for that. But I do think that the Falcons are going to end up taking Derek Stingley. Their secondary is awful, except for AJ Terrell. But if they can really build up a good defense, it's going to be hard to stop. And who knows, Falcons might reunite with Julio Jones, or they might try and make a trade for another receiver. Maybe perhaps one from the Rams, like OBJ. I know they did get rid of Robert Woods for a 6th-round pick, and that's it, which is absurd. But yeah, pretty insane. Next up, we got the Seahawks getting the Broncos pick for trading away Russell Wilson. I think they're going to go with Jermaine Johnson, edge rusher out of Florida State. He is it was David Ojabo that tore his ACL or Achilles heel tendon. But they really need to just go ahead and take one of the best players on the board, because they have holes everywhere except for wide receiver. With Bobby Wagner gone, with Russell Wilson gone. I do think Chris Carson is an okay running back if he stays healthy, which you'll hear about once my running backs tier list finally comes out. That keeps on getting interrupted, so I can never finish it. But next up with the Jets, they're going to be taking Ahmad Gardner. They need corners so badly. I don't even know who their number one corner is at this point. It's not anyone good. Yeah, Ahmad Gardner they really need help there, and Sauce Gardner is really going to be a big help. Next up, we got the Washington Commanders. They got Carson Wentz. I think they're good on QBs. You'll hear about that in my top. I already talked about Wentz, I think. But these this Washington team has a great number one wide receiver with Scary Terry. They're going to need another one, maybe someone who can open up the field a little bit, a deep threat, someone with good speed, and I think Jameson Williams fits that bill perfectly. I do not think he's the best receiver in this draft class. I will get to that later, but he is predicted to go up higher. NFL teams have been wanting him, and he does have that big play capability. I think he has a very high ceiling, but I don't think it's as high as one of the other guys that I'm thinking about. And I think that he is also his lowest ceiling, or his floor is pretty high, and his ceiling is even higher than Jameson Williams and Olavey and some other guys. Alright, now you know it isn't Olavey, but we're going to go with Andrew Booth for the Vikings. They need help on the defense, especially the secondary. Harrison Smith is pretty good, but their corners are really bad. Taking Andrew Booth, he went to Clemson. He was really good there. I think Booth is one of the better corners in this draft class. I do think that the best corner is Derek Stingley. He's part of that Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow group, and he did so well. Yeah, I mean, it's a glaring need. I mean, if we were to go for biggest need, the the Vikings would be taking a kicker, but because they are anything but clutch. Jeez, speaking hard. Next up, we got the Houston Texans. And the Texans, they need every single position except for safety now that they drafted Kyle Hamilton, as you can see down below. I think they're going to go with Trayvon Walker, take another edge player off the board, making sure that the Ravens cannot get one of those top edge rushers, and still filling a need in their defense. Now, I did say that they usually build their defense from back to front, but I feel like the best defensive player right now is Trayvon Walker. Not necessarily, but I also think that Jordan Davis is really good, which we'll get to in a few picks. Next up, we got the Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to take another Georgia defensive lineman, that being Devontae Watt. He played very well at Georgia, along with Trayvon Walker and Jordan Davis, fielding the NCAA's best defense, helping them win the national title. He's a very good defensive line product. I've not looked too much into him. I've been more focused on Jordan Davis and that incredible scouting combine. I would not be surprised if Jordan Davis goes up here or there even. Next up, we got my Philadelphia Eagles. We have so much draft capital. We got from the Dolphins for trading up to get Jalen Waddle, we ended up taking Devonta Smith, who's arguably better than Jalen Waddle. So that's a dub for us. And we got the other one for the Wentz trade. So we have a lot of things that we can do. We have back-to-back picks here. So I say we go and take, not Nakobe Dean. I think Nakobe Dean is very good. But we're going to go ahead and take Devin Lloyd. He can rush the quarterback. He can cover pretty well also. And we signed his son Reddick, which is huge. But Reddick has been more of a pass rusher than a cover guy. And Devin Lloyd can really help us in that front, I believe. Next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. I would not be surprised if the Eagles traded down here, perhaps with one of these later teams, or like the Packers, the Chiefs, the Bills maybe, so that they could trade up and take the wide receiver of their choice without Tyreek Hill, without Devontae Adams. And the Bills lost Cole Beasley. Now, I know that isn't huge, but he is a very good slot guy. So I think the Eagles are going to go secondary here. Now the question is, are we going to go cornerback or are we going to go safety? I think right now it's between Daxton Hill, Trent McDuffie, Jaquan Brisker, and Roger McCreary. Where's McCreary? I think McCreary is who we're going to take. I think that he is a real good lockdown corner. I know I'm going to get some hate for not taking McDuffie. I think it's mostly between McDuffie and McCreary. I just think that McCreary is a little bit better and who we should take. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Chargers. They need to protect Justin Herbert, but they also need to stuff the defensive line. This is where they take Jordan Davis. Now, they did get Khalil Mack. They did get J.C. Jackson. But Jordan Davis can be that run stopper. He can also get out on the quarterback a little bit too. I think he was the biggest part of the Georgia defense there in this past season. And he has that really, really, really good draft combine. And let's hop into the Saints. I like the Saints. I do. And I like Jameis Winston. I know that's going to sound pretty doo-doo. Haha, there's none. But I think they're going to take Drake London. I don't think Michael Thomas is the best wide receiver, but he is a pretty good number one wide receiver. Now, Drake London, he's pretty fast. He's huge. I think he's a pretty good receiver. Still not the best in this class, though. We will get to that around this later end here, actually. So that might be a little bit of a hint for you. The Eagles here at pick 19. A lot of people are going to say the Eagles should take a wide receiver. The Eagles got Zach Pascal. We have Devonta Smith. Those are two really good receivers. And maybe we can wait until the second round and go for a guy like George Pickens, maybe even Christian Watkins, possibly John Mechie, Sky Moore, or David Bell. Like, even Jalen Tolbert, I'll be fine with. Like, there's a lot of guys there that can be really good in the second round for us. And we don't need another, like, number 1 or 2 quarterback. So the question here is, do we go Linderbaum to make sure that our offensive line is good? But I think we're going to go ahead and take Jaquan Brisker. This could be biased to Penn State, what you're saying. Daxton Hill has really shot up a lot. I don't think that he's too great. I'm going Jaquan Brisker. I think I've watched every single one of his games over the past 4 or 5 seasons. I don't know how long he's been starter. I think like 2, maybe 3 years. He is really, really good. He can deliver some hard hits. He's good in coverage. I think that he's one of the top safeties in this draft class. Next, we got the Steelers. They are taking Tyler Linderbaum, staying in the gold and black, going to Pittsburgh. Linderbaum, it could be Linderbaum. I'm not sure. He has been a top pass protector at Iowa. I've seen some mock drafts where he's going up in like number 5-ish here. And I've seen others where he isn't picked until like the Bangles pick. Like, he's all over the place. But I think he has a super high ceiling, like an average floor. I think he is going to be a very good blocker for Najee Harris and Mitchell Trubisky. Sorry, that just doesn't sound a very good protector for Mitchell Trubisky. He's just not, Yeah, he's Mitch Trubisky. Next up, we got the Patriots. The Patriots, what are they going to do here with this pick right here? I think they're either going to go Nakobe Dean or Daxton Hill. Now, I've done so many different mock drafts over the past couple of days because I have so much free time in Infotech. But I've switched between Nakobe Dean and Daxton Hill a whole bunch. Like, which one is better for them? And even Trent McDuffie. I don't think McDuffie's going to go here because Belichick can always develop a corner out of thin air. I think I'm going to go with Nakobe Dean here. He is a very, very good linebacker. Another huge part of that Georgia defense that was so good in college last year. Yeah, I really think that Nakobe Dean is one of the better linebackers in this class. Him and Devin Lloyd are just so good. I could see Lloyd going in top 5-ish. I could see Nakobe Dean top 10 easily. They're both so good. Now we get to the Green Bay Packers, where the Raiders would be picking. But since the Raiders were like, you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and trade for Davante Adams. the Packers are here making their pick. I think they are going to go with Chris Olavey, wide receiver out of Ohio State. I've seen so many different things for this guy. I personally don't think that he is super good. He didn't really do much this past season. I think he was injured a little bit. I still don't think that he is the best receiver in this draft class. But he is really good. I think this is where the Packers take him at number 22 overall. On to the Cardinals. I think this is where Jackson Hill is going to go.
Oh, okay.
He could go really high. He could go really low. It's really all dependent on, what happens. Is there going to be any trade-ups? I can't do it because you need premium, and I don't have premium. I do think that Jackson Hill is a good player, just not necessarily top, first round. But I think he would be a good fit in the Cardinals offense, opposite side of Buda Baker, maybe even moving down to play corner a little bit for them. Who knows? That's what this team right here did with Micah Parsons. Ended up using him as an edge rusher for most of the season due to injuries and stuff. And they're going to need to take an edge rusher. They're going to go with the boomer bust product of David Ojabo. David Ojabo. He went to Michigan with Jackson Hill. He tore his Achilles, like I said earlier, or it may have been his ACL. But I think the Cowboys are going to reach for him. And he could be a really good player for them if he doesn't get too injured. I always find the one injury thing kind of absurd that, a guy can be like a top 10 talent and then he drops until the second round because he has like a shoulder injury that he's recovered from even by the draft. Like that all stuff is kind of crazy to me. Now we're on to the Bills. I don't know what to do here. They have got a really good team in place. I think they need to go Trent McDuffie here, though. The reason why I'm saying Trent McDuffie is because they really got exposed in this past year that with their cornerback class being weak after Tre'Davious White got injured. They still have two really good safeties in Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. I think their defensive line isn't too bad. They're rotating like 8 guys in and out. Every single mock draft I've seen has been like them taking a defensive lineman. I think that they're going to take a corner here. On to pick 26 out of 30. I think the Titans are going to go ahead and take Trevor Penning. Very good offensive line product out of northern Iowa. A little bit out there, but And yeah, they lost Taylor Decker, I think. Never had the best offensive line, but if they can just make sure that they have a good offensive line for a long time and just keep on feeding it to King Henry, they're going to do really well. Next up, we got the Buccaneers. I think they go here with Kenyon Green, which is an unpopular pick. But they need to make sure that Brady is protected with the shocking retirement of Ali Marpet at only 28 years old. Getting another offensive lineman, maybe another guy like Tristan Wirfs to help protect Brady would be huge for these Buccaneers. Next up are the Packers again. I think they're going to double down on wide receiver. Do I think they're going to go Dotson? No, I think they're going to go Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is a good wide receiver out of Ohio State. Teammates with Chris Olavey. They're going to be reunited on the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to them. Now, I've seen some debate whether Garrett Wilson's better than Olave or if Olave is better than Garrett Wilson. I think Olave is going to go before Wilson just because of those first couple of seasons. Next up, we got the Miami Dolphins pick, traded to the Kansas City Chiefs due to the Tyreek Hill trade. And they're going to go with the best receiver in this draft class. It's Jahan Dotson. I don't care what you say. If it's biased, when you look at his highlights against Ohio State, that one-handed catch with like his arm like inverted and like he makes these one-handed catches while he's like vertical and like he just makes so many incredible catches. He's got great hands. He's got pretty good speed. I think he's faster than what his 40 time says. But he is really a good wideout. And I think he's the best in this class. I think that the Chiefs are very, very lucky to get him. Next up, we got the Chiefs again. This is going to be a little bit controversial between my 20 subscribers. It's more like 15. But I am going to go with another wide receiver. And he's not even on the screen right now. This means he's out of the top 140. There he is. Tyquan Thornton. I think they're going to go ahead and take him in the first round, even though the Draft Network has him ranked at 170. This man ran a 4.23, was it, unofficial? Like that one quarterback, Derek Barnes, I believe it was. Let me just double check that he's actually a cornerback. Derek Angelo. Maybe it was Kalen Barnes. I don't know. But he ran such a fast 40. They went back and reviewed it. They put it back up to like a 4.27, 4.28. I think they're going to go ahead and take him and replace the Cheetah with Tyquan Thornton. Next up, we got the Bangles. It's no secret. They need an offensive lineman, and they're going to go Zion Johnson. Best offensive lineman there. And there isn't really another offensive lineman on the board for a really long time. Like, if you go ahead and look at offensive tackle, 64, based on these rankings. 54. Like, I'm not super into offensive linemen. I think that they're the most important position, but I'm not ever watching film of offensive linemen. Just isn't as exciting to me as watching Jahan Dotson play. Next, we have pick number 32 for the Detroit Lions. Or should I say the Detroit Rams. Getting Stafford that Super Bowl ring. Making that trade for their first round pick. They're going to take Kenny Pickett because you may be saying, why is Kenny Pickett still here? Because I don't think many of these teams need quarterbacks. Like Bangles, no. And we'll just take one last look here at our draft class. The Jaguars take Evan Neal with the first pick. As you can see, these top fives here. Malik Willis, first QB, one of the only QBs going off the board. Other five. Here's the other five. Eagles taking Devin Lloyd and Roger McCreary. Here's the other five. And then Jacoby Dean, Olavey, Hill, Jalo, McDuffie. I'm not quite sure how I'm going through this. This is the end of our draft. I've hoped you enjoyed this. And there really isn't too much else to say other than peace, I guess.